So let's talk about a question that, let's be honest, probably follows most of us around. How do you build a career that's more than just a paycheck? One that you're actually excited to wake up for. Today, we're going to break down how you can actually design that for yourself. Okay, let's kick things off with a pretty powerful warning from Jack Ma, the founder of Alibaba. He's saying the biggest thing holding people back isn't failure. It's just waiting. That whole let's wait and see attitude. And that's really our theme today, getting past that hesitation and starting to take real, intentional action. All right, let's do a little time traveling for a second. Go way, way back. What did you want to be when you grew up? Seriously, think about it. An astronaut, a firefighter, a rock star? What was that dream? And, that little trip down memory lane, it actually leads us straight to a pretty big problem. For so many of us, the reality of our jobs today looks nothing like what that kid dreamed of. And that feeling, that disconnect, it's super common. And look, this isn't just a feeling people have. There's some incredible research from the book Designing Your Life that found something pretty staggering. 3/4 of university graduates do not end up working in the field they studied. Just let that sink in. 3 out of 4 people spend years and a ton of money on one path, only to end up somewhere totally different. This isn't just a few people. It's practically the default. And this is where things get really tricky, right? You can check all the boxes you're supposed to. You get the degree, you climb the ladder, you make good money, and you can still feel totally, completely stuck and miserable. It's this huge gap between looking successful on the outside and actually feeling fulfilled on the inside. So why does any of this even matter? I mean, it's not just about getting the Sunday scaries, right? This goes way, way deeper than just not liking your job. There's a really powerful, really human reason why figuring this out is so urgent. To really get why this is so important, we have to look at, well, the end. There was a palliative care nurse named Bronnie Ware who spent years working with people in their final weeks of life. And in those incredibly honest moments, she would ask them a very simple question. Do you have any regrets? And what she found, wow. The number one regret she heard, again and again, wasn't about not making enough money or not getting famous enough. It was this. I wish I'd had the courage to live a life true to myself, not the life others expected of me. That is just chilling. And it shows you the real stakes here. This isn't just about a career. It's about living a life you won't regret. Okay, so that's some heavy stuff. How do we make sure that's not us? The good news is, you don't need to hand in your resignation tomorrow. The first step, let's call it level 1, is all about enhancing the job you already have. And the secret weapon for this is a really cool concept from psychology called the flow state. You know this feeling for sure. It's when you're so deep into what you're doing that you completely lose track of time. Hours can feel like minutes. That is the absolute sweet spot of work. So how do you get into that state? Well, it's not magic. It's actually a formula. 2 things need to happen. First, the challenge has to be just right. Not so easy you're bored out of your mind, but not so hard you're totally stressed out. And second, the task has to use your unique skills. It has to be something you're good at. But just being busy and in the zone isn't the whole picture. We also need a purpose. You have to ask yourself, what is your why? And if your first thought is for the money, you gotta dig a little deeper. What does that money actually do for you? Does it give you security, freedom, the ability to take care of your family? That deeper reason, that's the real fuel. Okay, so sprucing up your current job is an awesome first step. But what if you've got that little voice in your head saying, maybe I'm in the wrong place altogether? Well, for that, we've got to go to level 2, a simple way to discover what actually lights you up. And the tool for this is super simple. It's called the Passion Journal. Think of yourself as a detective, and your own energy is the clue. For a week, just write down what you do every day. But here's the important part. Next to each activity, make a note of whether it gave you energy or if it totally drained you. By the end of the week, you'll have a math of your personal energy givers. And those things, those are the clues to a job you might actually love. All right, this is it. We've looked at our current job. We figured out what gives us energy. Now it's time for level 3, the big one, where we completely rethink what a career can even be. Look, the whole idea of having one job for 40 years,
That's pretty much over. In today's world, it's becoming totally normal to have a second, third, or even a fourth career. It's about building a portfolio. Maybe you have your main job, a side hustle you're passionate about, and another small project. You're diversifying not just your income, but your sense of fulfillment too. So, to help you start designing this new kind of career, I've got 3 really powerful questions for you. Let's start with the first one. Just imagine it's 5 years from now. If nothing at all changes and you're in the exact same job, what does your life look like? What does it feel like? Be brutally honest with yourself. Okay, question number 2. This one is designed to get you thinking beyond your job title. Imagine your entire industry just vanishes overnight. Poof, gone. What are you left with? What are your fundamental skills when your professional identity is stripped away? This really gets to the core of what you can do. And now for the last one, the big one. Let's just take all the practical stuff off the table for a second. If money was completely out of the equation, what would you choose to do? What problems would you want to solve? The answer here isn't a business plan. It's a compass. It points you directly toward what you truly find meaningful. And that really brings us full circle to this final thought from Jim Rohn. This whole process of designing your life, it's not really about the career. It's about how you invest your single most precious resource, the one you can't get back. You can always find ways to get more money, but you can never, ever get more time. So the only real question left is, how are you going to spend yours?